Okay, Google, how do you say handcuffs in Spanish?
In Spanish, you would say esposas in its feminine form and esposos in its masculine form.
Okay, Google, translate esposa into English.
Esposa.
Esposa means wife in Spanish.
What?
You're turning my.
I have to ask again. Okay, Google, translate esposa into English. Google, translate esposa into English.
Esposa means wife in Spanish.
Oh, Susie.
Well then, everybody, you have it from Google herself. Today on the Astound Yourself Dating Show, we are talking about cuffing season. Bum, 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 bum.
Wife. That's right, Susie.
Cuffing season. That's
Hi,
right.
Tammy.
Pros and cons. And my name is Richard Francois. For those of us who are joining us for the first time, I am your host. And with me is my illustrious co-hostess. What is your name, illustrious co-hostess?
Illustrious co-host Elaine Saunders.
There you go, illustrious co-host Elaine Saunders. And we have a few people joining us already. We have Susan here. Hello, Susan. Thank you for joining. Oh, Susan knew the answer. Susan never here writing wife. She knew. Susan knew the answer. Susan is at least bilingual. And we have Tammy Lambert. Hello, Tammy. Good to see you. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Susan, I think this is the first time we've seen your comments. So thank you for watching. And Tammy, welcome back. Elaine, we have a great show in store today, like every time. And today's show, we'll be talking about cuffing season. First, let's tell everybody what cuffing season is, shall we? It's not the season where you just wear handcuffs all the time. What is it?
Well, you're asking me?
Yeah, you.
Okay. Well, cuffing season is the time of year when it starts to get cold outside and the holidays are about to approach. And this is even before the pandemic, but now even with the pandemic, it's even more pronounced where people start saying to themselves, oh my goodness, it's getting cold outside and I don't want to be alone for the holidays. I don't want to be stuck inside by myself. I'm going to get real busy and try to find myself someone to spend time with, to cuddle up with, to be with. Like they're in a mad rush to find a relationship. That's what cuffing season is all about.
So why would they call it cuffing season? I don't see anything violent or cuffing-like about this.
Well, it's a cute little name somebody came up with.
Well, here's what I've heard about cuffing season. Why it became that is because people during that time are looking for somebody to get attached to, someone locked down, someone to cuff.
Attached to, yep.
Someone to cuff for the season, to have be yours for the convenience of having someone to come home to, someone to keep you warm on cold nights. Because for those of us who live in colder climates, like Elaine and I, it's not as fun going out meeting strangers when it's 30 degrees outside and windy or there's 2 feet of snow on the ground. Some of you who live south, like maybe Florida or parts of California, may never have heard of cuffing season, and you're going to get an earful about it tonight. Susan is live tonight. She says, unless you're holding them hostage. Well, that might be a different show. Maybe we'll do a little show on Stockholm Syndrome. No, we won't.
Are they worth? Yeah, do they have like a ransom attached or what?
Perhaps. So that's the point about cuffing season. It's the time of year where people generally will find someone to just lock down, so for the convenience of it, even if it's not their ideal person. So tonight we're going to talk about the pros and the cons of cuffing season. One of us is going to take the pros. The other will take the cons. Stick around. You'll see who's who. Elaine, why don't you get started?
Okay. And the season generally lasts until it starts warming up, until the spring. Just to clarify how long the season lasts.
October and somewhere
So it starts warming up. Okay. So what are we doing first? The pros?
Let's do some pros.
Okay. So some of the pluses of the season. So the wintertime could be cold. I mean, people write songs about the long, cold, lonely winter. So having somebody in your life for that period of time for the season, it just reduces that feeling of the long, cold, lonely winter, having somebody to spend time with.
Here's an unpopular opinion. Baby, it's cold outside. That's all about cuffing season. Nothing else. Go ahead,
What was
Elaine.
the controversy? What was the whole controversy with that song?
Can somebody please tell Elaine what the controversy was about Baby, it's cold outside? Fine,
Controversy.
it's cold. There are some people who believe that the song is encouraging men to be creepy, and
Oh, right.
the guy was being creepy.
Saying no.
Said no 3 times, or that.
And he's saying, come on, let me in.
The other point that some people made about the song was, oh, she said, "What's in this drink?" And so that must have meant he tried to slip or something.
Roofies.
So,
holiday roofies.
People really got up in news about that song, and it got taken off the air because people are, Anyway, let's continue.
Okay, so
I happen to think the song is about a guy with no game. That's what I think.
Yeah, because there would be no singing outside if he had game, right? He would have been already right.
That's right.
The alcohol reference. Okay, yeah, maybe. I don't know. But I knew there was big controversy over it. Yeah. So I'm always coming in late on the game with that. Okay, so for cuffing season, to have a partner that's dedicated for sex, especially, I know, huh?
Elaine.
We were talking about the pandemic. Well, some people like it, Richard.
Partners? Yeah, I guess.
Sex. I know, yuck, right? The physical and emotional contact that you have with having a partner, and the convenience of that sex thing. So it could be a pro, it could be a good thing. It's very good for you emotionally and physically healthy to have that in your life, Richard. You should read up on it.
I'll do some research. Absolutely, I'll do some research. I can see
articles.
I can see. Please send me all the links you can find. I can see one drawback to this thing already is that you're going to end up on Santa's naughty list if you're over here just indulging in all this sex. People to get naughty like that. You're going to have an empty stocking, a full bed and an empty stocking. You just gotta make choices, I guess.
You won't get your work done. The house is going to get dusty. The dish is going to pile up. Here come all the cons.
There you go.
But there is a plus. Sex is a necessity. Oh, Gary.
There you go. Gary's an expert on sex being necessity. Have Gary go on the show next.
Gary
Tell us about the pros.
BTW. Okay, what's the next? Okay, built-in date for festivities. The holidays coming.
Yes.
Well, pre-COVID, I don't know what's going on this holiday season, but even if you're going on a Zoom party, you want to have somebody, you don't want to be the only one in the room that you know. You could invite somebody to a Zoom holiday party, right, Richard?
You could.
Holiday Zoom party?
Yeah, and the cool thing is you don't have to wear perfume because you won't be able to smell them. They only need to dress from the waist up.
That's right, just from here up.
You don't have to
worry about wearing pantyhose.
Ladies should love Zoom parties because you don't have to worry about wearing uncomfortable heels anymore.
Heels, pantyhose.
You can just show off the essentials from the neck, from the waist up. Right. And you wear your comfy flip flops at the bottom. It's great. Right.
Earrings, no rings, no bracelets necessarily.
Right. Look at me. I mean, I'm barely wearing makeup.
No, but seriously, I mean, if you do go to any parties that are kind of socially distanced with a limited number of people, you don't have to stress out about finding a date. You have a date.
That's right. Or you can bring a badminton racket with you, and when somebody gets too close, you whack them.
Pantyhose. Yeah, remember those back in the day?
Wearing that as a mask, you mean, Gary? I'm not understanding. What else do we have?
God, having too much fun tonight.
You want any more pros you want to argue in favor of
I like this one. The relationship insight of a trial run with that person, or maybe, I meet people that haven't even had a relationship for years, and it's good practice, like to see what it's like to even be in a quasi relationship with someone, to get into that mode of spending time with somebody and learning how to interact with them on a daily basis. To get out of that single mode, learn how to interact with somebody and relate and communicate with somebody else. Learn how to share stuff. Oh my God.
Interesting. So it's like having a trial period with having to sign up for a 2-year contract.
Exactly. You go into it saying, okay, we'll try this out for a season, and after Valentine's Day, when it starts getting warmer, maybe we'll renew until the summer.
Shouldn't it be before Valentine's Day, just to be fair to the person not getting an expensive gift? What do you think? Or if you leave them within 45 days of Valentine's Day, do you have to return the gift? That's a different conversation, maybe.
It's so complicated. I don't know. Another show. We'll do another show.
Do we have any more pros to go through, Elaine, or is it my time to tell about the cons?
No, this is the pro. We're still on the upsides. So many upsides to this. It might become something permanent. What if you get really, you fall for each other and this person becomes your one forever and ever till death do you part.
So you could fall for each other, or worse, get married.
Worse.
Hey, comedians make jokes about marriage. Why can't I?
Hey, depends on who you're married to. I'd do it again.
Yeah, you speak very highly.
Not the first one. I did it twice.
Late husband. Ooh, here's another one.
You know what? Look at all the money you're going to save on your heating bills. Just by cuddling under the blankets, cuddling. Just rip up those stupid bills. We don't need those stinking bills.
Nice.
Who likes bills anyway? Just body heat.
But that's with one person, or would you have to have multiple people?
Oh, Richard. Oh, don't.
Listen, the amount of BTUs.
That was last week's show.
Have you ever?
We're not talking polyamory this week. This is.
Have you ever seen the amount of
BTUs? We moved on from that.
That's so funny. Look at you.
I can't acting crack.
I think it's worth considering, because one person cannot emit the same amount of heat as a boiler. There's no way, unless they're one of the.
How many rooms in the house, right? Leave it open.
I think so.
Oh boy. Well, Gary's dominating the our commentary here. Where are the girls? Where are the women? Women. I think we scared them. You scared them.
Gary's having a good time. So let's keep the comments coming, Gary. Ask a question too if you want. Ooh, let's go to the cons.
These are the
parts.
The downsides. I can only think of upsides. So here you go.
Gone. You're dating somebody just for convenience. As we all know, dating should be inconvenient. No, just kidding. Just kidding. That's so funny.
For a minute. I'm like, what?
But if you're dating somebody just because you're behaving yourself, Susan, cut it out. Nobody said you had to behave yourself.
Go pour yourself a glass of wine, will you?
No. There's no behaving here. Say what you say, like the song says. Well, Linda Marie, hello. Thank you for joining. I think this is Linda's first time here. I don't think I've seen Linda's presence before. Thank you for joining us on the Astound Yourself Dating Show. So the con. Let's bring up that one first con again. We're talking about is
just for convenience.
Dating somebody just for the convenience of it, meaning that they're not your first choice. Usually, that's what that is. If you're dating them just to have somebody around, they're not your top pick. They're not the person that you would have picked for yourself if you're going to draw out a list of qualities. And here you are just stuck with them 4 or 5 months. That's one of the drawbacks to that. I think one of the other ones that falls into this will come later. So I don't want to just give anything away quite yet. But
don't jump ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. And Tammy says she would never date somebody just for the convenience of it. Let's take a look at this. You're very smart to say that, Tammy. I agree. That's not the way to date. And it does happen. Hey, people marry for convenience. I'm sure they would certainly just merely date for convenience.
Happens a lot.
It does.
You can't be with the one you love. Love the one you with.
Love the one you with. I'm full of songs. Let's bring up the second negative, the second con. You're missing out on a better relationship partner. That's exactly what I was thinking of. Because here you are with Mr. or Mrs. Right now.
Yeah.
What if Mr. or Mrs. Right or more right happens to come by, but you've got somebody in your bed?
Ugh.
You got somebody in your bed, and you just got involved with them 3 weeks ago, and it's for cuffing season. Now it's like you're not out looking for someone else, or when that person notices you, you're not really available, and they're gone. We know sometimes in relationships, it's not always time, but timing can be the key. It's that person. It's a split moment. You say something, and it turns into who knows what. Or you don't say anything, and you live with the regret. That's one of the chances you take when you decide to just do what's good for now and not stay open for what might be great later.
Yep.
So, con number 2. Strike number 2 for coughing season. Let's go with number 3. And by the way, if you're just joining us here, we are talking about this. No, not handcuffs, you dirty-minded people. We're talking about cuffing season, the time of year when singles find someone to pair themselves off with just to spend the cold months with, not have to go out there and find a new potential partner. So we're discussing right now the negatives, the cons of that. All right, so let's go to con, I guess it's number 4 already. There's a false sense of security. Now, this is a good one. You think, oh, I've got somebody, it's all good, things are fine. And you realize what you really have with this person when you end up in a crisis or a conflict. What happens, say you slip on ice and you break something? Is your cuffing partner going to be there nursing you back to health, taking you to the hospital? Or are you just going to have to do it yourself? Are they really your full-on partner? How you know when you have a full-on partner is when things are not going so hot, when things are not going so great. And so, we have a whole commentary here. We'll get back to that in a second. There's a separate show happening in the comments if you haven't noticed. I
can't wait to get to that.
Like on CNN right now, where we're talking about something and there's stuff scrolling at the bottom of the screen.
Recount.
So I'll let this conversation continue to
3 days.
And we'll keep talking over here. That is one of the cons of indulging in cuffing season. Is there's that false sense of security. You're not sure what you think you're on one page, but the other person is on a completely different page. Heck, I mean, a different chapter or book altogether. And you might start feeling cozy and warm, but that other person might not be moving in that same direction. Anything to add? Oh, well, you're doing the pros, so you don't add anything probably.
Yeah, I have nothing of value to add.
That is not what I said. That is not what I said at all. I said you were doing the pros, so you probably don't have anything.
I just sit here and look pretty.
Well, there is that. I mean, I can't look pretty all by myself. I do need help with looking pretty. So you're here as the additional person to look pretty. I agree.
No, false sense of security, but that could be in any relationship if there's not good communication. People walk in. I mean, a lot of people, I think coerce, or they kind of manipulate people into these casual relationships, hoping that the other person will turn. And then big surprise, they don't turn, and then you're disappointed. Oops. So that's the nature of these relationships sometimes.
That's the I'll grow on them strategy.
It's a chance you take. It's a chance you take, but that's all fair in love and war. You have to take a chance if you want to win at this game. So I don't discourage it either. If you really care for somebody, take a stab at it. If you don't, you can't win a game you don't take a chance in. I
agree.
So
Elaine Saunders, intuitive matchmaker and philosopher.
Yeah. Take my advice. See how far it gets you.
And then you can call Elaine to fix it.
Yeah, that's why we work as such a great team. Yep.
What is the next one? What's the next item? Feelings could get hurt, or worse, an unexpected attachment. Feelings could.
God forbid.
When you're involving yourself with somebody. That could happen in any scenario. But when where you're like, oh, I'm just gonna have this person stick around for a little time until I can. There's gonna be a stopgap, a little bridge, something to fill in the time until I find the person I'm really looking for. You might be surprised. You might be surprised and find yourself really being attached to somebody that you didn't expect, but then the attachment does not get reciprocated because you were on different pages to start with. There's a whole category of movies dedicated to this scenario. A whole category. They're called romantic comedies. And they should be called romantic tragedies because most of them are tragic and unrealistic. Unrealistic. I'm not going to go on a rant about romantic comedies tonight. But I did watch one that lends itself to what we're talking about, by the way. I just found it on Netflix. So if you want to go watch this, find another romantic comedy to watch. It's called Holiday. It's a combination of holiday and date. And it's about these two people who meet. And
don't spoil it.
Just get together, just go out for different holidays together. And as romantic comedies, it's funny, it's cheesy, and it has an ending. So go watch Holiday and tell us what you think of that.
So did you give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, Siskel or Ebert?
I generally give romantic comedies a thumbs down overall. And there's a couple of things I usually like about them that I'll give a thumbs up to, maybe a quick little scene here and there. There's a particular place where the male character really is appropriately snarky. I forget where exactly, but most of it is just it's the predictable stuff that is the romantic comedies.
Linda says it's a great movie. So Linda, I'll take your word for it. I started watching it and then I got distracted, so I'll have to pop it back.
I'm making part of my homework to watch a romantic comedy once a month or more, just to see what they're doing wrong.
I Love Guaranteed. I thought that was kind of cute.
Love Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Yeah, I saw that too. One of the Wayans brothers. Was it?
Yes. Oh, so cute. I can't believe Damon's son. What a dog.
Yeah, that was a good movie. I saw that.
That was cute. Yeah.
Yes. Let's take a look at what else. The inevitable DTR conversation, which is define the relationship. Define the relationship. When things start to go well and people are really liking the dynamics of things, they might want to change what they had signed up for. They want to rewrite the contract. Maybe it says, hey, we're just going to be buddies and we're going to get together twice a week and it's going to be just casual. We're not going to get emotional. We're not going to meet each other's parents or the cat. And then all of a sudden, or gradually, things start to change. And you're spending, instead of Tuesday and Saturday, you're now spending Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday. And you linger on for a Sunday afternoon and you kind of like it. And you're like, well, I'd like to see more of this person. And on one hand, you might think, well, this was going to only last until X amount of time. But now you're finding yourself wanting to define the relationship, or the other person is finding themselves wanting to define the relationship. Now, have you ever found yourself in a DTR conversation? When it's a woman bringing it up to a guy, it usually sounds something like, "What are we? Are you seeing anybody else? I deleted my dating profile. Did you delete yours?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you see this going? How come I haven't met your parents yet?" That's the segue, the entry way into the define the relationship conversation usually. And maybe you didn't sign up for that, but that's something that could happen when you find yourself in the not the words are not coming to me, Elaine. Help.
So you imply that it's the woman who brings up the subject of defining the relationship. Why?
Oftentimes it is. I'm not saying it's always like that, but oftentimes it is.
Interesting. Why do you think that is?
Why do I think that is?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the right way to have it happen.
Do you really? Okay.
Here's why. I feel like we get a little tangent, but let's do it. Here's why. If the guy is the first one to bring it up, it might be too soon.
Okay.
It might be too soon, and she's gonna feel pressured or rushed or pushed. And I don't ever want her feel pressured, rushed, or pushed. If the guy is doing things correctly, and she starts to bring it up, well, that means she wants to talk about it. That means Gary disagrees. That means she wants to talk about it. That means she's ready to have it go the next step. And so she's gonna say it however she says it, but usually it's something like, "Well, where do you see this going?" Because like she's testing the waters, right? She doesn't want to herself come across as needy or desperate or push you. Well, where do you see this going? And I'm not saying again that it's every time.
Right.
Usually
but
Go ahead.
No, but it's true. I find that when I talk to women, they get frustrated because they feel like they don't know what direction their thing is going in.
Mm-hmm.
And they find it hard to bring up, or if they do bring it up, the men just run or ghost them just because they try to bring that up. It's a scary thing.
If what they're looking for is a relationship, it sounds to me like it's a win either way. Because you can stick around with somebody who doesn't want what you want, or you can bring up what you want and have them run away. True. I think either way, it's a win.
No, it makes sense. I know we're going off on a tangent here, but since you mentioned it's usually the women, I'm like, yeah, it's usually the women.
I think it's important. What else? Do we have any more?
I do know. Do we?
Inevitable end. How appropriate. The inevitable end, as our show almost comes to the inevitable end. But yeah, there's that inevitable end. And it's not to say that if you are not engaged in cuffing season, things are going to last forever. But the end is probably closer in sight if you know that, hey, I wanted to get involved with this person just for cuffing season. It's you're signing yourself up for the pain of something ending, for the pain of for the grief, because it's grief. It's what it is. It's a loss. It's a grief. Every time you break up with somebody or somebody breaks up with, there's a grieving process that ought to take place. It doesn't always take place the way it should, and that even exacerbates the difficulties. But I think that it's important to have that time to heal. But if you're setting yourself up for, hey, I'm just going to be in this for 5 months and not catch any feelings, good luck. Good luck. There's a reason it's called falling in love. Have you ever fallen? Have you ever fallen at all? It's never something you can control. It's never like, oh, I fell gently and purposefully and slowly the gentle concrete. It's never like that when you're falling. And so when they call it falling in love, it's because it's not something you have control over. It's something that is happening and you're just along for the ride. When you sign up for, hey, I'm just going to just do 5 months and nothing's going to happen, you're taking a chance. You're trusting that you're not going to fall for somebody, and you might find that you have fallen for them when they say goodbye and not before. And that can be painful. So there are risks to cuffing season. There are pros to cuffing season. We hope that this has helped you decide one way or another. And feel free to continue to add to the comments like Gary and Tammy and Susan have done. And we also have Ruben. Hello, Ruben. Good to see you. Feel free to add comments, ask us any questions. Linda says it's a great movie. We mentioned a couple of movies here. Hi, Linda. I forgot to mention you. Linda says it's a great movie. We mentioned 2 movies, so go watch 2 great movies and enjoy your weekend with that.
Yes.
Next week, we are going to be back to talk to you about more fun dating topics.
Make suggestions, because I don't know if we have one lined up for next week, do we?
That's right. We don't have a show yet, so if you have questions, maybe something to
absolutely.
How it's going to be different this year. See, the good thing about the pandemic is you don't have to be the awkward date at another family dinner.
Seriously.
Right. I mean, mom and dad on Zoom. Things are not going well, just blame your bad internet connection and just get out of there. Just kidding. Don't do that. No. Elaine, it's been a great show. Thank you again for being my partner in crime in this fun, hilarious, silly show we're doing. Let's have you tell everybody where to find you.
Well, I'm easily found on Facebook. So if you go to Dynamic Introductions on Facebook, you can find my business page there. You could always book an appointment to chat with me. I have my calendar posted on there. My phone number is there. You can message me there. And there you go. There's my phone number right there.
There you go. Call Elaine. Find her on Facebook, Dynamic Introductions. And if you're looking for me, I am here on this page, Astound Yourself Dating, or you could go to grichard360.com. You'll find me some other ways there too. I am Richard Francois. This was Elaine Saunders. We want to thank you for watching tonight's show, and we will see you next week.
Thank you, everyone. It's good to see everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, and remember this. Don't just be yourself, enhance yourself. Good night.